Welcome back to BattleCast Primetime, and as you can see, we're ready to rumble with our very first featured match, Pillbots versus Apollo.
And standing by for the play-by-play are C&C developers Jason Bender and Greg Black.
Gentlemen, let the battle begin. Today's match, Pillbots playing as the Brotherhood of Nod versus Apollo playing as GDI on Tournament Rift.
So last time we saw these two guys play, Apollo was playing as Scrin, and he managed to creep into the middle of the field using a very aggressive building strategy.
I think this time he's actually gone with just a pure surveyor charge to the center, and he's setting up that base there, wanting to keep control of that green Tiberium field. It looks like Pillbots decided to go for the Tim spikes instead, and I don't know how that's going to work out for him.
Well, the one good thing is that the other guy's going to have to make an effort. Apollo's going to have to make an effort because he put a couple of troops in garrison buildings to keep off any odd engineer that runs by. On the other hand, Bots does have a few tanks where we don't see any tanks from Apollo right now, so he definitely has the first blood potential here.
So Apollo doesn't have any tanks, but he does have a war factory right on the edge of that green Tiberium field, and I mean that means he can basically get reinforcements in there immediately. There's a barracks, so he's just going to fortify this and keep pumping units out of it.
So we've got 4 Scorpions who are kind of going back and forth, not concentrating on any particular target. They've been chasing that harvester around a little bit, but they haven't knocked it out yet.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Apollo is somehow managing to heal his guy up because that war factory's right there or something. It seems odd to me that Pillbots hasn't been able to take out that harvester yet.
Well, he is doing loops around it, so he is going to get the benefit of getting healed. On the other hand, really, he's not making a concerted effort to chase it. He's got missile troops standing in the Tiberium field.
That's never good.
So what we have from Apollo now, pressing the advantage of having buildings here, he has built a base defense to take out those tanks. He's got a cannon, a Guardian cannon up. The Scorpions still not concentrating their fire very effectively, and now what's he doing? He's repairing the structure that they were attacking. So
Pillbots has got to muster up a big army, and he's got to go take that base out, or, Apollo is spending a lot of his resources, a lot of his effort and attention taking that center field. It's possible that his main base isn't well defended. He may try some sort of sneaky commando attack, engineers, things of that nature. But I think right now he's just going to focus on lots of Scorpion tanks, trying to break that foothold that Apollo's got in the middle of the base.
But why is he pulling out? Looks like he has a reason here.
Yeah, we've got some reinforcements dropping in. I'm guessing those are going to be infantry, probably rifle guys and rocket guys, and he wants to kill those planes while they're landing before the infantry gets out. Yeah. Got one of them, didn't get enough of them, and
but now he's retreating. I mean, he should be running those guys over right now.
That's an excellent point. I'm not quite sure why he's retreating. I think he feels like he's on the defensive. Doesn't quite have the confidence to move forward and really push it, which is what he needs to be doing.
So, but here we have something different happening. Bots is doing a good job now. He built up a base defense, shredder turrets to take out the enemy infantry, which was going to be a factor against the Scorpions.
Yeah, that's strong. I mean, you can see all those missiles firing from Apollo's base. Those are really going to hurt his Scorpion tanks, and those shredder turrets may be the thing he needs to hold those missile guys off.
You have to figure Apollo's got his queues building up with a lot of base defenses right now, and he's just waiting to drop them. He's got a second war factory, so he's got double duty going on as far as pumping out armor to get into the front line. So we have a flame tank here, which is retreating, but it didn't look like it was able to retreat
didn't last
much.
very long, did
Yeah.
it? And not seeing a whole lot going on at Pillbot's base. It looks like Apollo's starting to move in for the kill.
Look at that. He took out that air tower. That's a costly loss. He wiped out the defenses, and now he's rolling in with a pretty significant armor force. There's like a flame tank showing up, but that's not going to do much.
Yeah, flame tanks against the armor force. I guess he's building them to try and take out the infantry, but again, it just looks too little, too late on Pillbot's part.
Absolutely. He was about a minute and a half behind on that. If he could have gotten that in a little bit earlier and gotten it in against the structures and the infantry, it would have been a good call. Also, an obelisk just now.
Yeah, just went up, immediately got sold. Not a good sign for Pillbots. When those obelisks are being popped up at your base while the enemy's there, maybe too late.
Yeah, so the obelisks tend to be a good option when you're prepared and you know where they're coming from and you've got some armor to absorb the hit so the obelisk doesn't get knocked out. But in this case, the obelisk just was the only thing standing there and it got blown up instantly by predators.
Yeah, it really doesn't have that sort of first strike devastating capability that, say, a sonic emitter has or even a storm column. You really got to have those things ready in advance.
So now Pillbots has his back to the wall here. He's got an avatar up, which is going to help against those predators. He's got a lot of missile troopers. Great job. And now here's another obelisk, which might survive a little bit longer if he's lucky, since the predators are now are diminished in their numbers. So Pillbots might have been thinking back to their previous match where when Apollo was playing Scrin, he did that spider tactic all the way out to the middle, and he principally used gravity stabilizers to get out there, which is the airfield for the Scrin. So he got all the way out there doing that, and then he was able to deploy aircraft right into the front line.
So are you thinking that, maybe Pillbots thought that that's what Apollo was going to do this time, thought he had a little more time to get that center green field, which is why he was sort of slow on slow on the attack.
Yeah, another thing that you can do when someone spiders out like that, the tentacle tactic, you can cut it off. You can kind of come back in, you can cut it off, and you can pincer it, and then that thing gets cut off pretty easily. Apollo switched it up this time by getting in there and fortifying his front line. It was funny because he was late on vehicles, but now it's paid off because he's moving into mammoths now in the late game. He's got a sonic emitter that's just out of range of that obelisk, so we have a no man's land in the middle that's just covered in craters.
Yeah, you can just see, you move guys out there, that sonic emitter or the obelisk is just going to eat them up. So somebody's going to sit back, muster up a big force, and then just power their way through it.
Here we go. This is a big problem. We've got a couple of mammoths moving up. So there's only 4 mammoths, but 4 mammoths is equal to a whole bunch more in as far as armor and hit points go.
Yeah, and the mammoth taking some damage from the avatar of the scorpions and that obelisk is starting to retreat. Looks like Apollo is trying to pull Pillbots into his no man's land to get that sonic emitter firing on him and get those rockets and the railguns from the mammoth.
Well, that seems to be working. That sonic emitter just did some horrific damage to that group of units there. These avatars are getting left out on the field, pretty much alone. There goes one. I mean, he's going to need a saboteur to go back in there and pick that sucker up.
Yeah, and hopefully Apollo won't do it first, because that's going to be real depressing when you see your own avatars taking out your own base.
We haven't seen too many engineers up in this territory. There hasn't been much of a reason up to now to do it, but I think now that the bases are a little bit exposed and the battle is raging, I'm hoping to see much more in the way of engineers and saboteurs.
And look at this, we got zone troopers on the map, we have sonic emitters, we've got avatars, we've got mammoth tanks. This is clearly a tier 3 battle. And
Juggernauts, check this out. We got the Orca Strike coming in to knock out that base defense. Great job. So Apollo just put it on full steam. He's calling in support powers in the form of reinforcements, Orca Strikes, which pretty much means that Pillbots is going to have to pull out a lot of different counters, and he doesn't have the money to do that.
Yeah, I can't imagine that he does. I mean, the only thing he's got going for him right now is that heroic missile squad there blinking away, and it looks like those zone troopers are going to deal with them shortly.
So there's a commando from Pillbots.
Ooh, commando. So this is what I was talking about earlier. I can't imagine that Apollo's base is too heavily defended. He can't be paying too much attention to it. So maybe if he can get that commando in there, do some damage, take out his MCV even.
And we have some snipers here plinking off the few infantry that Pillbots does have. Now he's got some vertigo bombers. So that commando, we can kind of assume it's going to go maybe right through the middle of the map, take out the blue Tiberium field, and then maybe try to go for the main base after that.
Yeah, quite possibly. Who knows? I think that's an awful lot to ask from a single commando. It's good that he's doing it, but again, I hate to keep repeating this. Too little, too late. He should have been doing this 5 minutes ago.
But I mean, he's had a lot on his plate to deal with. To his credit, he's been keeping his base alive for a long time.
That's true. With the way this game has been going, I would have expected Pillbots to be out of it a lot earlier, and he has just been, holding his ground as much as possible, but, he's losing that long-term economic battle. And this is looking real bad. That MCV is about to go down, that Conyard.
Yeah, losing your Conyard is really just like getting your heart pulled out here. So Apollo's coming in and just delivering the death blow here, but
and to Apollo's credit too, Pillbots was somebody that came here to win. He fought to the bitter end, but Apollo was able to sort of beat him at every turn, and really a hard-fought, well-earned victory on Apollo's part and a well-played defense on Pillbots' part.
Absolutely. Props to both these guys for making a great showing of GDI and Nod strategy here.
Good game.